Hey, welcome back to the channel and happy holidays. Today I want to show off this DIY decorative mailbox. It's meant to appear as if it is a coppered, patinaed copper, similar to the cast aluminum mailboxes you might be aware of or have seen in your neighborhood. Usually those ones will have a nice fancy post, looks like more like a light post and sort of French inspired, and the mailbox will be squared off with some sort of decoration on top, and mine happens to be a train. A lot of the ones that I've seen since I'm in Florida are sea creatures, dolphins, turtles, manatees, things like that, but I wanted to make my own variation. This cost me about $100 to make total, including the mailbox and sourcing the antique cast iron train. This is O-scale, I believe, and it is a die cast train. I think I might have just said cast iron, I meant die cast. But yeah, it's kind of important that these, whatever decoration you're putting on top is of a metal variety, preferably die cast, and also has some sort of base to mount to. But starting out with the mailbox, this is about 50 bucks from Lowe's, and you can kind of see the base color on it. I wanted to find something that was more of a bronze color, that way starting off it would already appear somewhat aged or earthy. This one also kind of caught my eye because it has some elegant details on it, and it's just a little bit more fancy. I actually purchased a Facebook Marketplace mailbox for like 15 bucks that I kind of wanted to use. It's a little bit smaller, but then I figured I'd just go with the one that caught my eye first. So with that $15 one, I might recreate another one of these with a different decoration on top. Let me know if anybody's interested in that, because I could make it custom and I'll probably end up trying to sell it anyways. So if you're interested in something similar to this with your own preferred decoration on top, let me know. So that's the mailbox. Again, these were sourced from an antique shop, and they're mounted to the mailbox with 1/4-20 screws and bolts. You could see right there the screw is pushed through the mailbox and then bolted to it essentially. So it's a fixed screw that goes about this tall, and that way I just have to drill another hole through the sheet metal and bolt whatever decoration I want to the top of the mailbox. There's 3 mounting points here, and with that I could pretty much customize this thing to whatever I want, as long as I can find it in a die cast. So that's the features of the mailbox. Let's go ahead and talk about the paint. So I used this Rust-Oleum metallic paint primer to hit these die cast models with a base that would look similar to the bronze. It wasn't perfect, so what I did was I actually hit the mailbox with some of that spray paint in this area, just different areas to kind of give it a hammered or distressed look. I think it came out pretty good. If you look at each of the features individually, they might not appear that consistent or realistic, but as you step back, it starts to really become its own sort of patina, and it actually does appear to be a old copper mailbox. So I think the weathering technique came out really well. So for the base, again, just all the bronze, and then I came back with just a Krylon, sort of a turquoise color. And what you do is, that's what I painted it on. You get a plastic sbag, spray it with the paint, and then just press it onto the mailbox all over the place, and you can kind of see, gives it this like splotchy, splattered look without being drippy or like splattery. It looks more streaky. And I even tried on the back here just a different technique where I used the next final weathering product. I'll go over that in a minute, but the turquoise, you kind of just go around roughly where you think it's gonna give a nice highlight. There doesn't really have to be any sort of structure to this. The less structure, the better. So you hit it, and then what I actually did was I did just the bronze and the turquoise. I forgot to tell you, I kind of went crazy on the die cast models up here just because I wanted them to be really prominent and look the most weathered. So all of that was sort of faux patinaed with the turquoise, and then I sprayed it with a clear poly clear coat, and then that way that'll kind of lock in the base colors. And then I came back over it with this rub and buff and kind of hit the areas that I thought might have a more burnished, sort of polished look. I mean, there really isn't a rhyme or reason to this. I kind of went through and just hit all different facets of the mailbox, and I kind of wanted it to look like there was a big dent in it, so that's sort of what that appears to be from far away. And just went over it, kind of hit the higher end areas to give some highlights and goldish look. Now this gold, it by itself is very gold, but once you mix it with a bronzed or copper color, it really gives this more depth to the copper aspect of this piece. So by itself, this brown sort of just appears brown, but once you put in this metallic sort of gold, even though it's actually gold, your brain just processes it as like a copper. And I don't, there's probably a lot more smart people out there who know the science behind it, but that's just how it feels to me. Standing back here, I don't see any of those colors as like a gold. I really just think of copper when I look at this, like a patinaed copper. So I did that, and then this was the technique that I was going to cover. I tried to see if a hammered copper might be possible by just dabbing the rub and buff on, but it really doesn't look that good, so I just scrapped the idea. I practiced on the back because I knew that not a lot of people would see the back. But yeah, the whole thing just kind of hit with the rub and buff. And then I took the turquoise spray paint. It's outside, so sorry, I'm just using this as a representative for it. And I just lightly misted the entire project until I was happy with this sort of oxidized look that the blue gives copper. And if you notice any of like a really oxidized copper, patinaed copper, will have more of a blue hue than a copper, shiny copper look. And so I just misted it and let it sit for a minute. And this stuff dries really quick if you're good at spraying and you don't overdo it. So I always do quick coats, so spray, let it sit for like 2 minutes and then do another hot coat over it. So I did the green and then did it finally with another coat of the poly clear coat, and this is what you get. So let me know what you think of this. I think it looks awesome. I'll go ahead and do another update video of it on the post, but I just wanted to show it off in case anybody's, I didn't see any videos like this out there, so I think that this looks really convincing, and if anybody had the thought of doing this, I would say that it's worth it. So that's it for this one, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.